fires around the U.S. and around the world where people were competing at a local level, and then some people managed to organize a few nationally networked events, and where all those people kind of came to attend and represent. And so that became much more popular as time went on, and now the game publishers took notice of that and started organizing and funding tournaments for their games and leagues for their games, and that's when we really caught fire. And so now you're seeing we're kind of coming out of the experimental stage from gaming publishers where they're putting money into that, and now they're going full on into kind of the formalization, corporatization of structured leagues and franchise opportunities.
Yeah, the production value of these games is amazing. I mean, you've got basically Hollywood studios creating these games.
Yeah.
And so now you've got the industry. We've created this amazing product. Let's go market it, seems like, and let's go sell it. And
well, the sheer dollars that are in gaming are monumental. And so, I've heard statistics. People say that the total revenue of the video game industry is more than the movie industry and the music industry combined. So if you take all of the movie industry and music industry, and you take all their revenues and combine it, gaming still outpaces both of them. And so the amount of money that was being funneled into gaming as gaming became more of a popular activity, a lot of that money was able to kind of get reallocated into eSports because it helps game publishers with player retention and marketing. And so it became this machine, and to this day you're seeing game publishers even invest more of their dollars into eSports structure.
We've got Mike Rufail with us. He is the CEO of Envy Gaming. I want to talk about your team and just kind of the games that your team play. Can you tell us about who makes up your team? Where do you find players? Just kind of the structure.
Sure. So when we first look at a game, we always want to make sure that it's watchable, that people are going to want to tune in and watch our professional team playing that game and competing in it, and it has to have a good, solid kind of core player base. And to find those players, to be honest, it's difficult, but we do have some resources that other sports don't have, like in-game statistics, right? Mm-hmm. So every time you log into a game and account for most of these games, you're able to track your stats, and the game is built on computer code, so all those stats are typically pretty accurate and reflect what's happening with a player. And so we're able to kind of use in-game statistics as just a baseboard. It's not the most heavily weighted thing that we look at because there are lots of different conditions in the games that can skew a player's stats, and there's also the factor of, can that player perform in front of an audience? Is he going to get butterflies in the nerves and just completely forget how to play the game, which we've totally seen before from some players. They're amazing playing online from their bedroom, but when they get in front of 5,000 people, they fall apart, right? They put on the jersey and they have to perform. It kind of changes things, and they get the shakes. But so there are a lot of factors that go into what we look for in a player, and it's probably similar to what an NBA team might look at it for a professional player. He might be 7 foot tall and be athletic and can run the court, but can he shoot the ball, and can he play well under pressure? And so we look at a lot of different factors, and just like any other sport, we have kind of our own scouting methods, and a lot of it has to do with just raw talent, coachability, and the fact that you can remain calm under pressure and hit the right shots when you need to. So
man, I mean, it's really amazing, and it's growing so much. And y'all were the first team to have a sponsor on your jerseys. I mean, you all have Jack in the Box on the jerseys now. Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
Well, our team was really successful in Overwatch before the franchising hit, and so we were coming into the league with a good core group of players, and we also were, one of the darling teams around the world, if not, kind of the most followed team coming into the league. And so to this day, even now, a year into the Overwatch League, we're the most engaged, most followed team in the league. And so I think, between us having a great business team in the office, and that was able to go out and knock down doors and talk to people about what we're offering in sponsorship, plus the fact that Jack in the Box is a great progressive brand. I think they saw the opportunity and said, hey, this is a new great thing, and why not sponsor the best and most followed team that we can find. So we got a good partnership there.
And you talked about the NBA. When I really think of gaming, I do think about Counter-Strike Offensive. I think about a Global Offensive, CSGO. I think about Overwatch. I think about Halo. But, there are a lot of folks that play Madden or 2K. And they're, the NBA teams are starting to really pick up. Mark Cuban has really been in the gaming. The Cowboys are getting into gaming. So can you talk a little bit about the sports franchises and what you're seeing there, and also playing the more sports-oriented games?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's great that the NBA and the MLS and the NFL supporting Madden tournaments. I mean, I think it's great that all of them are coming to the table and trying to get involved. I think it's much more challenging for them to create a much bigger global, level eSports league because, they're essentially broadcasting the same sport that you can go watch, at their home games. But I think they're seeing some success with it. I think what Mark and the Mavericks are doing for their gaming team, Mavs Gaming, is amazing. It's incredible. I was just there a few days ago visiting with them again at their gaming center in Deep Ellum. I think what they're doing is really great for that, to build that culture of, we're inclusive, we're going to, support where our fans are, the things that our fans care about. And I think 2K is definitely something that the Mavericks fans engage with a lot. And so for them to go out and, launch out into the 2K league with an esports team is great. So I think all those sports teams should be getting involved, and a lot of them really are at this point.
Deconstructing Dallas, Ryan Trimble, Sean Williams. We're going to take a quick break, be right back, talk more Dallas Fuel. Thanks for tuning in.
You know what they say, variety is the spice of life. And if you're looking for spicy, look no further than effin' hot salsas. Hey friends, it's your old pal RT here, and take it from me. If you're looking for the best variety of salsas, jellies, and other fiery concoctions, look no further than effin' hot salsa. Effin' Hot is created with the finest peppers and hand-selected ingredients. And what's even better, Effin' Hot is based right here in Dallas. And if my recommendation isn't enough, get this. Effin' Hot donates 5% of their annual profits to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. So what are you waiting for? Get to the store and pick up your own jar of Effin' Hot salsa today. It'll make you say, "That's effin' hot."
Welcome back, Deconstructing Dallas. Sean Williams, Ryan Trimble. We are with Mike Rufail, and we want to talk a little bit more about Overwatch specifically, and Overwatch League. For those of you who don't know, Ryan and I were watching some matches on YouTube, and so if you haven't seen Overwatch, you can see matches online now. But my son Isaiah built his first computer when he was 15, and I'm like, okay, cool, sounds great. But he went to YouTube, built this computer, and he did so he could play Overwatch. And he is one of the biggest fans of Overwatch League, and so he got me watching and understanding. And basically, I want you to talk about the significance about the Overwatch League, because it's something that I can relate to, because you had teams in different cities, and it was structured very much like a major league sports franchise. So can you talk about, the first season of Overwatch League, because I know you guys are about to kick off the second season, and kind of how Dallas Fuel played into that, and and even looking forward to season 2?
Sure. So the Overwatch League is, in my opinion, the most exciting thing in all of esports. It's the first opportunity to have, like you said, geographically located teams, and the ability for us, after doing this for 15 years almost, to actually represent a city is an incredible opportunity, and one that we're taking very seriously and we're happy about. So it's just such a refreshing league in all of esports, because it's, one, where we have geographically located teams.
Yeah.
Two, there's a very great business structure behind it that makes it very familiar and relatable to big brands and other corporate entities that want to get involved and send messaging to the young demographic that watches our events and watches our matches. And it basically is something that takes some of the best elements of traditional professional sports and then adds in this really amazing new age kind of concept with video games, and it merges the two together. And I think that's what the most exciting thing about it is that we're taking basically one of the globe's most favored hobbies in gaming and combining it with one of the most favorite entertainment mediums in professional sports. And so it's been a real joy helping to upstart the league and working with the league's partners and the other team owners to deliver a product that's really great for fans all over the world. And we're making great progress in all the things that we're doing there. So really exciting.
And why is Dallas an important market in this whole big picture of the Overwatch League? What makes Dallas unique? I mean, you've got an LA team, you've got a New York team, obviously, but why Dallas?
Dallas is, one, a great sports town. I mean, it's just nobody can deny that the fans in Dallas across all their sports titles have been phenomenal, very supportive. It's been an activity for a lot of families and people around DFW for years to go out and support the sports teams here. That, and we're a growing market. The population is growing in a big way. I think we're slated here to pass Chicago as the number 3 sports market here pretty soon. So after New York and LA, we'll be up there passing Chicago as far as I know in terms of population and the demographic of our market. So Dallas has also been great in esports for many years, holding some of the earlier esports events here 15 years ago with Counter-Strike, and Counter-Strike has always been holding a lot of their major and world championships here. So there's been a lot of buzz around Dallas with esports for years, and I think that's also what contributed to us wanting to move here, aside from me being a born and raised Texan. Sure. And Ken, obviously being here in Dallas. So
and Ken, we're talking about Ken Hirsch, who's one of your key investors.
That's right.
In the Dallas Fuel, and who is also the head of the George W. Bush Presidential Library, of all things.
Yeah.
So big foresight by Mr. Hirsch to jump in.
Yeah, and so, aside from, our own passion for Texas and our own passion for Dallas, we just thought it was a great market to be in, and that's why we bought the franchise here. And so we wanted to make sure that this city had some of the best operators of a team.
So season 2 of Overwatch League is upon us. February 15th, you guys are going to have a big watch party at the Arlington eSports Stadium. And, I remember, and I talked to Shea Butler some last year when he came on board with you guys about, I recall that there was a watch party that you guys were scheduling, like in the South Side area, South Side Lamar area for the first season. It was like, hey, come out, and you guys planned for that. And there was like triple the amount of people that came out than you planned for, because there's so much excitement and there's so many people coming to support your team. So what can Overwatch fans expect from season 2? The Dallas Fuel didn't fare as high in the rankings as you wanted to. I know on the second half of the season you guys came on strong, but what can Overwatch fans look forward to from the Dallas Fuel this year? Yeah,
so going back to that first watch party, we had one bar as a location, in Southside, and we ended up filling 3 bars and having a lot of other overspill around in that city block. So we took over pretty much took over Southside in Dallas that night, and that was our coming out party where we knew we had a great fan base here. It was kind of our first look at it. But we had a little bit of a rough start to the last season, but we certainly came on strong as one of the top teams in the league at the end of the season, and the fans can expect for us to build on that. We've made a lot of changes within the team in terms of how we're training. We built a new training facility out in Los Angeles for this season specifically before we come to Dallas next year. We have a kind of a revitalized coaching staff. We brought in a couple new players. They're all working extremely hard, and we've kind of really gone more with a systematic approach to the 2019 season. So I think we're going to be pretty competitive, and the fans can look forward to a lot more local activations here with us. So we didn't waste any time this time around. We're starting with a watch party on the 15th at the eSports Stadium in Arlington.